Hi guys. Do you want to introduce yourselves? What are your names?
Benedicta, hi.
Nana, hi.
And are you both in first year? What years are you in the uni?
Oh, I just finished my first year, so I'm going to my second year.
And what about you?
Well, I'm about to complete my master's in project management.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So how many years did that take to do the masters?
It's just a year.
Just 1 year.
It's just 1 year.
And did you do your undergrad here as well?
Yeah, well, in my country though. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
it's an affiliate university, the University of Sunderland. So my degree is from here basically. But yeah, I did.
So how many years have you been living in Sunderland?
Just almost a year.
Just this year gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you both staying? Like, what's your accommodation?
I stayed in Pansbank for like 6 months.
And what about you?
Clanny House. I've been staying in Clanny House
Yeah.
since I came.
So tell me about like a Pants Bank. Tell me about like how's that been for you?
Well, I really like it mostly because it's like really close to the school. Because I study at St. Peter's, and
Yeah.
when I look out, like when I look through my window, I literally see St. Peter's campus, and it's like really convenient for me. If I miss the bus, I can just
Yeah.
walk. Even if I'm late, I'm not so late. And it's like, I don't know, I really like Pansbank.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because it's so close to everywhere. I can go to
It
the
is,
city
yeah.
center, I can walk anywhere. I love walking.
Yeah.
So it's much better for me. And
Yeah.
I also like the way like it's private and smaller. I prefer like a smaller place than to the places that have so many.
Yeah, in my first year, I also lived in Pansbank, so there's some stuff I'm definitely going to ask you in terms of like, because I mean, there are certain things that really annoyed me in Pansbank, but there's some things I liked as well. But in Clanny House, obviously, I didn't stay there.
Yeah.
And you've been there now for this year just gone.
Yeah.
That is over by the hospital, right?
Yeah, it's
And
closer
how do you
to
find
us.
that? Do you feel it's close to everything as well? Do you feel it's got some perks?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's that far, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I walk to campus, to like
Yeah.
city campus. I go to the gym here, so it's convenient. It's just 10-minute walk,
Yeah, it's
and
not
then I
that
just
bad.
go to the gym. That's fine. And sometimes when I'm working on city campus, it's still okay. But my main campus is also St. Peter's.
Yeah.
I just never miss the bus. I mean, I'm studying project management, so which
Yeah.
means my time management is quite good. So
Good,
I
good.
try not to meet the bus, to miss the bus.
Well, sometimes the bus can miss you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Has that happened?
a lot of times,
Many
yes,
times.
Yeah.
I would have waited at the bus stop for like 15 minutes or maybe 30 minutes.
It's the
And,
worst.
and I'm waiting, and the bus literally passed me, and I was bringing up my hand. I'm like, what do
happened?
I do now?
So what's even worse is when you feel like you're 5 minutes ahead of schedule and then the bus is nowhere near.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you go and you go and try to see if you found it somewhere, and then the bus comes around and then you miss the
Oh.
bus because you went to go somewhere else.
That's true.
That's the worst.
That is the worst.
So why did you choose Clanny House? Did you have multiple choices, or did it just kind of become like the only choice you had?
Well, I'm on accommodation scholarship. I'm on scholarship generally to school here. So it was what was chosen for me. But I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I actually have a very nice big room in Clanny House. I know I'm very lucky and I'm very special because my room is very comfortable. And I think for some reason I've just enjoyed it because even with my flatmates, we've just become a little family, you know.
Yeah, I think that happens.
It
That
happens.
always happens.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, it's nice.
it's,
Yeah, I'm
it's
waiting
convenient
for it
and
to
it's
happen.
quiet. I mean, I don't get noise complaints. It's quite quiet and I like it. I can study at night.
Do you feel
and
like
just-
everyone in your house is kind of similar, like similar type of people, or is there different characters?
Well, when you apply, you are asked what you prefer. So you can sleep, you can stay with girls, you can stay with just guys, or you can get whatever mix. But I was just like, I'm okay with it being mixed.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to meet different people from
Yeah.
different countries anyway. So it is okay because it's closer to walk to city campus, where Murray Library is. And the library is like 24 hours, like when we need to study for exams or assignments and stuff. So it's convenient for me because then I just walk here and then like even at night walking back home is still safe anyway. So that's fine.
And first up, what was the reason you chose Pans Bank? Like, did you have other options as well, or was it similar where you just kind of got told you're going to Pans Bank?
I chose Pansbank because every other place rejected me.
Oh, really?
Because like My application was really complicated and I was not up to 18.
Okay.
So everyone was quite reluctant to take me in.
Oh, really?
So, and I applied to the Forge, but they were like, oh no, we cannot take her because she's not 18.
Really?
And Clanny House was full. Pans Bank was the only place that offered me accommodation. And they made it really obvious because all my flatmates were also 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess, but I liked it. Even if it was not much of an option, it was still good. And also because I was not really the one doing the accommodation, but for myself, I was still in my home country.
Yeah.
So someone was helping me out here.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that there because my next question was going to be asking you both what's it like not living at home. I know, like for myself, I found it like a big change. Did you find it a big change going from living at home with your parents, your families, and then going over and even though you're with other people, like in the student accommodations, you said you make your own family, you make a new family, everyone becomes quite close. Maybe not for everyone, and then
Yeah.
and then you kind of have people obviously in the same boat as you, but at the same time you are living away from home. Like, how did you find that?
Me, honestly, there is not much difference for me. I went to boarding school since I was 9.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've
So it's
literally
stuck to
lived
water.
in school all the time.
Yeah.
Like home is like my holiday.
Oh, right.
Then I mostly live in school and we go home like only during Christmas, Easter, and we don't see our parents that much, especially my parents. They were always working, so it's kind of like a similar thing. I also went to uni in like my country before coming here, so I already knew how it was like. University was like. The only difference was that here I was actually like cooking my food for myself. I don't know if that's a really significant difference.
That is significant. I mean, I would also agree that's a big significant change.
But every other thing was basically the same. As for how the accommodation is, it was also much better because my boarding school, there's much more people that share a place than
Okay.
here.
Bank, yeah.
Yeah, so
What about you? Like, is it different? Was it a big change for you?
No, because I also went to boarding school, but when in high school, and then when I finished boarding school in high school, I went to stay in university for accommodation, and then I started living by myself. So I was living by myself in the big city, so I wasn't really staying with my family. So like in terms of cooking and all that, I'm used to the independence.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I miss them and stuff, but no, nobody cooks for me.
Yeah.
So
I don't miss my parents.
it's far away, but it's okay. It's still okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have me like the two of you both say like you've had boarding school and you've found it quite fine to adapt, but like have you noticed maybe some people struggling to live away from home, or do you think everyone kind of found it fairly okay?
well, some people do struggle because the change is really much.
Yeah.
Living with your parents that provide everything for you to living alone. I mean, they still provide for you, but there are like a lot of things you now have to start doing by yourself. So I would say that some people actually, like some of my flatmates, they haven't like been apart from their parents for a long time, and they are also like international students. So a new country, new everything is. They took some time to adapt.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think for me, my experience with people struggling, because I honestly didn't struggle, was the cooking part, the cooking bits. Like I know people that would just be like, I don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to make. I don't know what they'll just have takeouts, and then later they would see that destroyed them financially. But then they had to, adapt to the situation and but like I think eventually in the beginning maybe it might be a bit difficult for some people, but eventually they end up opening up. And when you're living in a space with student accommodation, there's always someone that's like willing to help you with something. Like if I can't get home on time or make something for myself to eat, my housemate could be like, "Oh, I have something in the fridge. You can warm that up." Like that's why I said it becomes a family, and then later, you get used to it and you ease into it. So it may start off a bit rough, but then they ease into it in the end.
Yeah. What would be your go-to meal to cook?
Well, for me, it's spaghetti and mince.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Simple.
it's like really quick.
Very quick, very
15
easy.
minutes, just throw in the mince there and veggies and then spaghetti. Yeah, that's it.
Have you any?
I don't have any because I just eat whatever snack that is closest to me because I don't have strength to stand up from my bed, go down. I can probably do that, but by the time I start thinking, oh, what will I cook? And by the time I finish cooking, I'll probably have already lost the appetite to eat. So I'm just like, I'll just eat whatever and drink some water and sleep. The sleeping will probably take a lot of time. When I wake up, I'll be ready to do something else.
Well, I mean, my advice, what I've picked up is that it's better to meal prep.
Yeah.
So I live on the 3rd floor, and just going down the stairs sometimes, I'll be tired from gym or whatever, and just like, oh, I can't go down the stairs to make something, so it's better to just Sunday after, if you're religious, if you've got church or something, and you just make something, and that you meal prep for let's say 4 days of the week. You just know that you're warming something, and that's what you're eating. You don't have to actually cook every day.
No, I probably cannot do that because I might have. What happens to me is that I have so much food in the fridge, but I just don't want to eat any of the ones in the fridge. I'm just I want another type of food, not the ones in the fridge.
I
so
get
I'm
it.
just
And so obviously, when you have flatmates, you tend to have squabbles. Is there any pet peeves you have that your flatmates do, or any pet peeves of Clenny House or Pans Bank? I mean, surely the Pans Bank Hill has to be a pet peeve.
Yeah, that you can never get used to that hill. You're like, oh, after 1 month I'll get used to it. That's a lie. Up to
never.
today, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know, sometimes I'm like, because sometimes when I'm going to school and I listen to music and I'm walking up the hill and I'm like, oh wow, I've crossed the hill and I didn't know, because I just remove my mind from the hill. Because if I'm like, oh, I'm climbing up the hill, then it becomes much more harder and takes more time. But if I just remove my mind, I'll just pass it and that's an obstacle that has gone, because it's really, really not easy.
No, it's not. It never gets easier.
And
Any pet peeve from Clenny House?
No, not really. I mean, it'll just be interacting with your housemates. Sometimes you guys could just
any things, any in particular things that your housemates do that might be pet peeve?
well, maybe we used to fight about taking out the trash.
Oh yeah.
And then
Very standard.
we had to come up with a schedule for that. And just contributions for liquid soap, dishwashing soap, things like that.
Do you feel like that helps, having a was that, you said distribution, like people being assigned, was I'm assuming days or something?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it does help.
I mean,
It does help because
it's definitely better than doing nothing.
yeah, we get help, to clean our flat once a week. And then when the trash is we need to take the trash out, we have a schedule so we know who's doing it. Because then sometimes you'd find that back before we did the schedule, you'd find that there's one person that's doing it consistently, and then nobody else notices that, oh, there's just one person that's doing the job. So it does help. Otherwise, not much. It's just interacting with the people around you.
There's nothing that your flatmates do that annoys you. So that's just small things
my flatmates, they really complained a lot about very unnecessary things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes one day I was in my room, literally I was thinking about my life. And someone just knocked on my door and I opened it and I was like, oh, she said this. I don't care. Honestly, I have my own problems. Why are you telling me about what she said?
Is inevitable in uni accommodation.
And the worst part is that if you find out it's just a really small problem that you don't even need to talk or quarrel about, it's just a very small thing, and they're just making a big issue out of it, and it's just really annoying. Especially some people would be like, oh, take out the trash, and you would never see them doing it. Oh, it's so dirty, but they will also always be keeping the place dirty as well. And that was also very annoying too.
So like you both there pointing out like stuff with like taking out the trash and having maybe a schedule or people not saying for it to be done, but then not doing it themselves. So obviously that'll be a lot of like testing of character and having like people grow and stuff. Like, have you felt that living in a student accommodation has helped you both grow as people?
I think yes. To relate to other people, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen for everybody. If you are more mature, or you feel like you've grown to a certain extent to accept certain things or just compromise on certain things, some people don't realize that that's a compromise. They don't grow as much. They just stay in that immature behavior, because we get so a flat would get like equipment like maybe an ironing board, hover or things like that. And then you'd find one housemate keeping the iron in their room. But like when you're done with that iron, you should return it where anybody else can find it. But no, they just keep it in their room. And then when you call, where's the iron? They're like, oh, I locked it in my room. Yeah. So some of the things if I was to take the iron, I know I have to take it back, even though I might need it tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm compromising, and that person still, So yes, it does take a bit of development, like character-wise, to stay with people that you don't know, and you just have to live with and be cordial with. Yeah.
So like as well, you're both in like two opposite ends in the sense of you said you weren't even 18 when you came to university and you're doing your master's. So in terms of like for you first, like if you were to tell someone who is in the same boat as you where they were going to come over, because I'd imagine a lot of people that you were living with would probably have been undergrads or were meant more. Yeah. So I think a lot of people do tend to be in undergraduate courses, and so obviously you're doing a postgrad. If you were to tell someone that they were going to be living in student accommodation next year and they were also going to be a postgrad, what would be like one bit of advice for you to give them to maybe like put them at ease, maybe like encourage them or not worry?
I would tell them that the best thing is that usually people do keep to themselves. Some people try to when they move into the student accommodation, they're not immediately welcoming. So people do keep to themselves. Not everybody's going to be in your space. That one, I know for a fact that somebody my age would feel like, you know what, I want my own space. I want privacy. You are going to get privacy. I would tell them that you definitely are going to get privacy. But I'd say, remember to exercise patience. In my case, it's not everybody that's an undergrad. I think most of us, the Clanny kind of tries to group you, or I think all the student accommodations actually, because in her situation she stays with people that are her age.
No, I think that was because of the
underage
next.
Like, are you with people similar ages of you, or?
We are the same age because we were underaged. So they kind of put us together until like maybe when we were 18, we can now go to wherever we want to go.
Oh, right. Did you move, or did you stay with everyone who's the same age as you?
Well, I just turned 18.
Oh, you only just...
Yes.
So you can only now choose if you wanted to move.
So maybe next year.
Yeah. How did you find being younger than everyone like around in Pans Bank? Did you even realise it, or did it cause some challenges?
It's hard not to realise it when everyone is like, you're underage. Wow. How did you come to uni? I'm like, it's not much of a big deal in my country. It's like you go to uni when you're 16. So it was kind of different because everyone kept reminding me of my age, and it was really annoying. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, you don't even look like you're 18, you look like you're 12. And I'm like, wow, that's a really nice way to encourage me.
Yeah.
But it was actually, the thing about university is like you come and you see people from different places, different ages, different courses. So, everyone should expect to see someone you cannot just assume that this person is this age or from this place. But Pans Bank was really good. It's just the only problem that I had with my flatmates was like the area of being clean, because the kitchen, I really don't like staying in dirty
Yeah.
places. It's like I
So
cannot.
that would be like a nuisance for you, just like the kitchen
Yeah.
not being cleaned.
But I always
Who would do
like
that?
most of the time I always that just compromise because I just cannot take it. So I just like take out the trash or clean the place up most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I knew that they'll never be able to. Honestly, they would never want to do it, no matter how much they like. I mean, sometimes they'll be like they cleaned and they felt like slaves, and I'm like, me that's always cleaning. That means I'm like a regular slave then.
Yep.
But sometimes you just have to study how the people you are around you and try to like make everyone feel comfortable and try to tolerate and endure and just
Yeah.
But like, so kind of like wrapping up slowly, what was the social kind of aspect in the student accommodations? Did you feel like it offered a lot? Like, you said like you want to meet other people, and like you said, like if you want to have your own space, you can have your own space. But like if you wanted to meet other people, do you feel like it was quite easy to do that, or would you find it difficult in Pantsbank or Carney House?
Well, I would say, like I had said, that you're definitely going to get your personal space. It is quite difficult because people really do keep to themselves. People don't just sit outside,
especially if
randomly, and
like
just
they're international students, because
Yeah.
it's like a new environment and they mostly talk to their friends from back at home, so it's kind of like new to them to talk with people around them.
Okay.
I think, it's much better to meet people in school. I think the friends that I have in Clanny are people that I've met on campus.
Okay.
And then that's how I know
Yeah.
that they stay in Clanny.
Do you
with
think
me.
it would be? Do you think it would be beneficial if people in Clanny and Pantsbank just kind of sat outside and just like
Yeah.
spoke with people
Yeah.
for next year? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I do think so. I think it would be so much better if people just sat outside. Maybe if they were like maybe sitting areas outside, that would be very beneficial. But I at the same time, it's still okay. I mean, we still meet at the bus stops, and then we can just chat. Yeah.
People have their routines.
People have their routines, and we
you
all.
spot people.
Maybe in the laundry.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, you are definitely gonna make
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if you're open, because you can't just always be in your room all the time and you expect to make friends. It's not like they'll come to your room and
What was it like for the day of moving in? I mean, was that quite daunting? Because like, did you both move in on your own, or did you know people before you came over?
oh, so I knew someone before I came over, and I kind of moved gradually, so it was not really hectic. I didn't move all in one day. I kind of moved little by little, so it's quite smooth for me.
Did you do all in one day, or did you little by little as well?
All in one day. I didn't know anybody here. Okay. I had a buddy. But my buddy was on holiday, I think, or something.
The
was
student
happening.
union buddy.
Student union buddies. I think she wasn't around, so I didn't know anybody, and I moved in by myself. When I first got there, I was just like, oh my goodness, so many stairs. Why are there so many stairs? But then I didn't come with much, so it's not like it for some reason I just settled in pretty well. I didn't have much stuff, and then later I just started getting things that I really needed. I didn't know that I would need a few things. I think I didn't do my research much. I think I was just like concentrating more on academics more than what I'm gonna expect at my accommodation. So I didn't really prepare. I didn't bring the pots or the plates or things like that. And then that's when once I moved in, I was like, oh, okay, now I can get these things. And then slowly but surely, I managed to get the things that I needed.
But I think like the moving out is much more hectic than the moving in, because
Really?
you will not know, like when you move out, that's when you realize that, oh, I've bought this much things since I was here, because the things you have will be much more than when we are moving
Exactly.
in. And you have to start packing, and you'll be like, I never knew I had this much stuff. And you wouldn't know what to do with it, like where to keep it. And you'll be like you underestimated what you had.
If you were to tell yourself one piece of advice or one thing to know from the day you moved in, from what you know now after you've had the year, what would it be?
I think I would say that do your research, ask questions, ask around, pay attention to the school website. We've got channels where you can ask questions to ambassadors. Just ask like, what would I need? Where's this place closer to? What's the best restaurant, the best takeout restaurants that's closer to Kleiny? Just because I discovered my favorite restaurant just 3 months ago.
Really?
Yep. And I feel like
Do you want to say what it is?
it's
Or do you want to gatekeep it?
well, it's Chinese to go, guys.
Oh, okay.
And it's so close,
Really?
and I used to go all the way to the city, the city center to get something another restaurant, but then I realized that I found something that was much closer and something I really liked.
Yeah.
Just ask questions, like even the transport, just find out, how can I get to the beach? How do I do this? Just try to gain as much information as possible about the area that you're moving into, because I went there clueless. And I feel like if I was to do it all over again, this time I would be much more prepared, knowing where the things about the place that I'm moving into, like the facts, and just all about the area. And I think that would be very much more helpful.
Yeah. So just having more general knowledge of the place before you moved in. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about yourself? If you were to have one piece of advice to let yourself know when you moved into Pans Bank, if you're coming towards the end. As well, let's say as well, it's the same scenario where you're going to be moving in and you're underage, so you have the whole thing as well.
I'd say that you should not let what people are going to say about your age bother you, because in a few months you'll probably be 18 and no one would care anymore about whether you were 17 when you came in. So you should just keep reading or doing whatever you want, and also give yourself some time to rest. It's not like every time is always about school. Some days, maybe during the weekend, you can just go out or rest, because it's very much needed. If you overwhelm yourself too much, it's not really good. And also it's okay to make a mistake, because I know so many times I've made different mistakes. I'm even whether it's about something as little as maybe the road to go this way, because then you'll be able to learn, oh, I can't go this way, or from this way there's another road, there is a shorter road. So it's okay to make mistakes. Also be open to people. You don't know what people have been through. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know how different their own culture is. So just don't really judge people based on what you know or what you feel you know, because at the end of the day you just be like, oh, I misjudged, and you don't really want to regret that or make people feel uncomfortable. So it's but just take one day at a time, I would say. Just tell myself to take one day at a time. Don't think about tomorrow, think about yourself. Don't try to bring what happened back from yesterday, and you'll be worrying about what happened yesterday. And today would just go quickly, and you'll not start worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow when it's not even yet here. So it's just take everything step by step. And also ask questions. Really ask questions. People in Southern are really helpful. I've never seen so many people so helpful like that.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, perfect. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.